What's up, Champions fam? It's Zeke 4-0, back on a brand new WWE Champions video. As promised, we are here today to do our overall review of July 2020's July Jubilee MLC. Now, I'm going to let y'all know right out of the gate, this is not going to be a short, sweet, and brief, right to the point video, but we are going to walk through all the steps of this MLC, and at the very end, I will give you my verdict on it, and hopefully, whether you agree or disagree, you leave your thoughts and comments down below. And also make sure to do yourselves a favor moving forward if you like this type of content by, hitting the like button, making sure to share, and most importantly, subscribe and hitting that notification bell moving forward so you can get access to all content from this channel as soon as it's properly released. Now, let's be realistic. The mainstay of this MLC that was supposed to make this a landmark month-long contest is one thing alone: the introduction of the 5-star bronze meta. Point blank, period. This was the, medium to be utilized to introduce the brand new change within the game, because now things will never be the same. 5-star bronzes are here. That is crystal clear. So that's something to keep in mind first and foremost. We also got an overhaul when it came to the menu screen when it pertained to the contest content. So we got a new contest hub that actually makes things a little bit easier for everybody. Literally, when a brand new MLC launches, we go to the hub and now we can claim right off the rip the MLC free-to-play champion, who for July was modern era powerhouse Killian Dane, the Beast of Belfast, and in my opinion, a very solid free-to-play unit, because a rare one at that, because at 3-star, he gets his best build, in my opinion. So this does help out a lot of players. Even after this MLC concludes, he has a solid ability that's going to help out your roster. So I do suggest investing in him even after the conclusion of this MLC as we gear up for SummerSlam. But we also got a little interesting nod here when it came to the prize wall chase champion. Now, usually when it comes to free-to-play champion, prize wall champion tandems, they make sense, okay? We had Bayley and Sasha Banks. We had Typhoon and Earthquake. We had Lita. We had Edge. We had Jeff Hardy and Matt. Gallows and Anderson, okay? Gallows and Anderson obviously would be swapped because Anderson was the free-to-play while Gallows was the chase. But this time around, we had Dane for the free-to-play unit, and we had Lana, the Ravishing Russian, reality era trickster, for the chase champion. Now, the one thing that got me about Lana was this, is, well, first and foremost, her ability wasn't all that. Plus, I had such high expectations from her that they truly let me down because her gameplay was lackluster. She didn't seem like a champion that was worth going after, and I will explain that later on in the video, why I'm just going to hold off for right now. But one thing that really bothered me is the fact that her card art says that she is a modern era trickster, when in reality she is actually a reality era trickster. This gets on my nerves because this isn't the first time the Champions has done that. They have done the same with 2 other champions of importance, and it literally baffles my mind. Like, my mind just can't fathom what's going on here. You say on the card that she's a modern era trickster, but she's actually reality era. The same way you have Rey Mysterio portrayed as an Attitude Era acrobat, but he's actually modern era. And before Rey, you had Lex Luger, who has a legend logo on the card when he's actually new gen. If you're doing updates in the game that literally force us to update the game, when you went to do that update, don't you think you would have someone on top of things to be like, hey, we should go in here while we're fixing these supposed bugs and glitches that we're supposed to be taking care of? Why don't we get someone to go in there and change out those logos real quick so they actually match up with the proper links that represent that said champion? Outside of that, I'm getting distracted. What got me about this tandem is they have no type of chemistry at all when it comes to in-ring canon, okay? Now, if we had Killian Dane as the free-to-play unit, and then we had Nikki Cross, his real-life wife and former Sanity partner, okay, stablemate, as the prize world champion, that would have made sense. And looking at how lackluster Lana was, if she was the free-to-play unit, and we had Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, as the chase champion, that would have made sense. But they didn't do that. So it was an oddball tandem. And quite frankly, like I said, I mean, there's top tier powerhouses. The list goes on when it comes to powerhouses now, okay? We even got a brand new broken unit that we'll discuss later on because he did debut pretty much at the conclusion of this MLC. But Killian Dane as the free-to-play unit, while Lana is the chase champion for the month, it's just a tandem that just doesn't really draw people in when I'm sitting back and looking at it. Especially if you're the type of person who's watching wrestling all the while playing champions. It just didn't add up. Dane and Cross would have been a yes. Give them a Sanity link together. Give them an NXT link together. And heck, you could have even gave them a SmackDown link together because they did do their thing like that. Lana and Bobby Lashley, they could have had a mixed match tag link together, the same way Bayley and Balor Club do. And on top of that, they could have easily also had a Raw show link. That didn't happen, but it is what it is. But we're going to move on to the next part of this. You know who the free-to-play champion and prize world chase champion were. You know how I feel about it. Let's see what the first contest was, okay? We got the Dynamic 9 contest that debuted here. Now, with this contest, this was real simple. If you had 9 required superstars that were, some were reasonable, some were decent that you might have been able to pull off, and you got lucky. But ultimately, this was a Wales playground here. You had to spend mad disposable income to get these superstars, or you got mad RNG luck so you could be able to properly participate. And if you were able to have all the superstars required here, now granted, a few of them were free-to-play units, such as Striker Bret Hart, okay, as well as Bayley. There were some solid units that were free-to-play, and even going a step further, Fandango was also a prize world champion, who even I was able to acquire absolutely free of charge. But then you also had Hollywood Hogan. You had the VIP units as an alternative, DX as well as King of Kings, I believe. Okay, you had Psycho Sid. You had Hollywood Hogan. You had Rey Mysterio. Certain units you might have had, others you didn't. But if you were able to participate fully on with this contest, you were basically guaranteed a chance at a 5-star bronze champion guaranteed, whether it be a fuse or a new champion. Plus, if you were able to pull a specific medallion through the vault that was offered for this contest, you could actually go ahead and pick up one of these brand new 5-star gold token sets of 3. So you could have used the medallion to get 3 of the $1 million belts, Undertaker urns, the pancakes, the Fiend mask, the cartons of milk, the Demon's fangs. You could have used that medallion to get a set of 3 there. So ultimately, those who were blessed by the RNG were able to walk away with, basically, 2 5-star bronze champions. And I'm not taking nothing away from this, because if you put that kind of money into the game, if you've put in the type of time that is needed to even have these superstars, to get them where they need to be so they could do the content that was presented for it, you obviously deserve it. So I can't really be mad. I know a lot of people like to attack the whales, but again, you got to think about it like this. If you didn't have people still investing in the game, you wouldn't have a game to even argue about or even critique. Even I wouldn't have anything to say, because the lights would be off. There'd be no one in the building. It'd be shut down, and they'd be on to the next one. So kudos again to those who were able to participate, who were able to get a 5-star. But for everybody else, just don't worry about it. Be patient. They'll come around to you the same way like 3-star golds did, the same way 4-star bronzes through 4-star golds did. And our you will get a 5-star soon enough, but just know, if you're starting the game right about now, it's going to be a long road ahead. But if you're with the right people, you keep the right mindset, and you know how to say no to certain situations, and you know when to invest, you will be absolutely fine, even if you missed out on this contest. But again, like I said, July Jubilee was here to christen a new era, and they made sure to do it with this revamp of the D9 contest. So that's what we had here. This was the first contest that was running alongside the July Jubilee MLC. But then we had our first Showdown contest. Now, this was an interesting one, and I actually like it because it paid homage to something that champions did back in the day. Now, let's be realistic here. I love showboats to death. They're health tanks. They can take a beating. They can keep you in a fight for a while, but let's be real. Back in the day, all health, nothing else. That's pretty much what they are. You know, they're a big pillow. They can take a lot of cushion, but when it comes to pushing back, it's like it's nothing. They suck at getting out of dangerous pins, and that's their Achilles heel. Every class has a weakness that ends up showing itself at an improper time. And with showboats, that was the case here. But one thing that they did here with this contest is they showed love to the very worst champion. Literally, if we had taken a vote, taken a poll of who do you feel is the worst champion in the game right now, many people would have said Junkyard Dog. Well, they took this Showdown contest and basically turned things around. Literally, did a full 180 on us, because not only did they let us know, hey, at 5-star bronze, this guy gets a move that's going to make him actually really viable and dangerous. They also gave him gear that was absolutely broken. Gear that literally basically made him do 300% more gem damage for all colors. Meaning he eradicated, he deleted, yes, the problem of said showboats. I'm a big tank of health, and I hit pretty hard. If I get knocked down, unlike my other bros, I'm going to get back up. And when I get back up, I'm going to thump your ass down into the mat and get the 1, 2, 3. And the footage from the broskies prove why he is such a threat. So this was cool because champions had a moment where they decided, someone there at the team decided, let's revamp some champions and make them viable. And they did that. They did it with Mark Henry. They did it with the Big Show Trickster. They did it with Showboat Rock, the People's Champ. And they even did it with Greg the Hammer Valentine. They did the same here with Junkyard Dog. And on top of that, they gave everyone an opportunity to basically get a guaranteed free 4-star gold champion. The first time this has ever been done in the game. And there's more. You actually had a shot, if you had the proper superstars to get through everything, to get things done, okay? You had a shot to not only walk away with one 5-star gold Fiend mask alongside the 4-star gold fuse for Junkyard Dog, or actually recruiting him at 4-star gold. You also had a chance at 3 total, so you could have all 3 5-star gold Showboat tokens to take up another 5-star. So let's think about this one more time, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, you had a chance at it for the Dynamic 9 players. You could pull a 5-star guaranteed. You could get the medallion to pick 3 5-star gold tokens of any class that you chose, and you could get 3 guaranteed 5-star gold Showboat tokens here. So if you really looked at it, people who were in Dynamic 9, if they played the cards right, were basically guaranteed 3 5-star bronze champions here. The downside was there was a little bit of a glitch that happened here, but thankfully things got resolved. However, the thing that champions made clear, even though you gotta think, this is a blog. It isn't like a person like me talking about it, so you gotta read into it deep to understand what was going on here. They revamped Junkyard Dog. Yes, he's a real solid unit. The same way Bam Bam Bigelow, R.I.P. my boy, is a beast mode unit at 5-star too. But they also basically told you here too, the Thump, the brand new 5-star move, does make Junkyard Dog viable. But the gear is what makes him a monster. So they were like, hey, if you got all the required superstars, you grind up enough coins and do what you have to, you're guaranteed a 4-star gold champion. And if you're able to do all the content here, you're going to get those 3 showboat tokens to hopefully take up your Junkyard Dog. But you need to remember this. You need that gear for him to be OP. So they double dipped in the pot. If you had the required superstars and you got Junkyard Dog at 4-star gold, I was able to. Cool. Awesome. If you're able to clear the tours, cool. Get your 3 Fiend masks. But you need to realize that, hey, if you ain't got the gear, just walk away with a 4-star gold Junkyard Dog. This was actually a pretty lenient contest, so I really can't be mad at it at all. And again, take a moment to just check out the Broski's footage and their content. But they had some solid opportunities here. These were some of the rewards. You can tell they had some solid units here. Legends at that. So you had a solid shot to walk away with something decent from this one. So things started out pretty smooth when it came to it. They had an instant counter to the Dynamic 9 because people were just chewing out Scopely from the gate when it came to one, Killian Dane, finding out about Lana and being like, what kind of chase champion is this? She's not even worth it. And then it was like, oh, great. We're going to have all these top factions running around with 5 stars when it comes to showdowns and feuds. How are we going to beat them? I quit. I'm done. And then it's like, hey, okay, I see, a free 4-star gold. That's worth grinding. That's worth putting the time in for. And if I want to go for the gear, then I'll go for the gear. And you know what? If I don't get it, at least I tried. And hey, if I'm able to get all 3 Fiend masks, they might not go towards Junkyard Dog, but hey, they could go to somebody else. They could go to my Fandango. They could go to my Fiend. They could go towards my Slick Rick. They could go towards my People's Champ Rock. They gave you options. They gave you alternatives here. And I like that. When everyone can walk away a winner instead of it, being pointing fingers. But then things, got a little more interesting because then Scopely started to show their real side because here comes the money. Here we go. Because we had the tax deadline contest. Now again, this was also one where it literally was on perspective. If you're the type of person who's like me, who's invested in this game long enough that you know how to be on your P's and Q's about certain contests, you literally are stockpiled on all resources, coins, IGC in-game cash, health packs, training posters, coins, token cases. When you're stacked on everything, you have space to do certain things. And this was one of them because either you were, spending cash or you were doing pulls. And they gave you an opportunity to get some shards to possibly, recruit one of the required champions that was needed. And that's the lovely lady that you see here in Fearless Nikki Bella, one of the Bella twins. So this was a solid contest, but it depended on your roster, Did you have your Legend Tech DiBiase at a set rarity? Or did you get lucky with Striker DiBiase? Did you have Volkov? Did you have Bam Bam Bigelow at a set roster rarity? It fell upon ultimately where your roster was. And so that's kind of one of those things where when you have a contest like that, where it literally falls upon who you have, a lot of people get selfish with these kind of contests. And it takes a moment for you to just take a step back and think about it. Do I need to complain about a contest because I don't have the superstars? There's no need for me to really say anything or speak on something if I don't have it. There's no point in me being mad because guess what? I can moan and groan all I want. It doesn't change the outcome. I can just be at peace and be like, okay, I'm missing out on this. And there were some solid resources to come from this one. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that they had a solid loot banner. I'm not going to deny that you had a chance to do some, interesting stuff when it came to content. Now, granted, like any contest, you had some pay-to-play options. The Russian Hall of Fame Hall. But then you also had Ted DiBiase, Tech Legend. You also had Bam Bam Bigelow. Two units that normally people were able to pull mad doopty-doops up, so it didn't cost you any training posters. There were also contests in the past, so you could get a fuse of them, so you could get them up at a higher star rarity. So there were certain times, if you had just participated in the past, if you were able to do so, you might have gotten a little bit ahead here, and you might have been able to walk away with some solid resources, as you can see here. So, again, one running theme that they did have with all the contests, pardon me, is that you did get a shot at five-star gold tokens per contest. So at least the opportunity was there, whether you liked it or not. It just became, again, an option to you. What are you going to do? Are you going to break the bank to try to make these requirements? Or are you just going to come to terms with, hey, I missed out on this, but I can still go all in and collect these said rewards and stuff from the limited time tours. I can still do what I can here, so I can walk away with these certain resources that are going to benefit me in the end, whether or not I'm able to complete everything. At least I have a shot at it. So, tax deadline, couldn't really be mad at it. And normally when it comes to champions in the tax day content, you should know, hey, IGC in game might be something to have as an essential item to use, or hey, I might have to do a bunch of pulls to even things out to hopefully unlock and recruit somebody. And Lord willing, I have the TPCT on hand to get the job done. So tax deadline, mediocre, not the best. Definitely wasn't the Super Showdown Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog Super Showdown was hands down like the best contest that was coming out of here so far, unless you were able to do the Dynamic 9. So that was what was going on with tax deadline. But then here we go with this one. Update 44. Now, Update 44 was pretty much implemented, and this is what I was talking about earlier with Killian Dane and Lana, where you could go through the screen and claim the free MLC free-to-play champion from here. At first, when you look at it, it's like a whole new world. No Aladdin, okay? No Aladdin, a whole new world. It's like, what the hell am I looking at here? But if you just take some time and sort through everything, it really isn't hard. But I will say that it is a very, convoluted system. Literally, the prior system that was established was, in my mind, a lot easier to sort through and go through. The only annoying part from the prior setup was that every time when you had like a faction contest or a solo contest, a blitz contest going on, every time someone got a little points, you would have the bars pop up on your main screen letting you know. This eliminated that. So I was happy about that. You would just get a little, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. How many numbers of milestones. Go click it. Go through your menu. Boom. Claim everything all at once. And there you go. Now, I know that might have annoyed a lot of people because I've seen so many people make sure, because this did make sure, like back in the prior one, you could easily just claim each one of your milestones one by one, so you knew that you got them. When they hit you with the all-in-one bundle, it could say that you got everything, and next thing you know, things are missing. And if you didn't take a screenshot right at that time, and we know how support can be, you might have been SOL. So this update to me was a hit and a miss. Did it make things a tad bit better? Yes. But could it have been a whole lot better in launch and execution? Of course. But you know what? It was the first month of this new setup. means that they can improve it as they move forward. But it was also a huge headache because I know so many players are still trying to figure it all out properly and set it up, because you could have exclamation points going on. You're like, what is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, wait, I got to go to my July Jubilee, and wait, there's still an exclamation point. Where is it? And then you got to go all the way down, and then you got to click. Oh, there it is. It's let me know the upcoming TP contest is tomorrow, or the coin evolve contest, or oh, this contest is about to start. It's like, save the exclamation point. Don't have that there until the contest goes live. That's just annoying. It's too much. You're trying to do a whole lot with a little bit. Okay, if this was supposed to be easier to go through, y'all just made some people's jobs a whole lot more difficult or a whole lot more confusing. But you meant well. Does it give you a pass? Yeah, it's so. It definitely wasn't the be-all, end-all that they were preaching it to be, okay? But this was definitely the update that also coincided with July Jubilee and the 5 stars being released. Now, moving forward from that, we got I'll Be Damned. Bam, 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 bam. APA Farouk's contest. Now, this is when, pardon my French, the fuckery started to happen. Now, the D9 contest was understandable because 5 stars were inevitable. We had people doing betas. We had the 5-star gameplay. We had the streams. We knew it was coming. So we couldn't dodge that bullet. Okay? This contest was when they made it clear, okay, we gave them the Super Showdown, you know. They can't be mad at us there. We even got the tax deadline. We got some options there. We can hit them up with a whole bunch of offers like we always do. We cool. This is the one where, just like with Masters of the Universe, Masters of the WWE Universe, okay, in June, this is where you put a sour taste in my mouth. And this is why I'm going to say it, okay? Champions made this whole thing where pretty much the only way you were maxing out this contest was basically like how D9 was. You had to have all the required superstars. Now, with this one, though, it was a tad different because some of the people, I'm pretty sure a lot of us had. It was just a question of, again, where are they rarity-wise, overall-wise? Can you get them up in time? Is it going to hurt your resources at all to invest in them to get the job done? And then they hit you with the amount of points needed and required. And you know what? Some of the resources were cool because, again, you got a chance at some shards for the new champion. You got another chance at a 5-star gold token. You even got a shot at a brand new, 4-star gold champion opportunity. This time around, instead of Junkyard Dog, it was the chairman, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. But like his theme song said, well, if you didn't have the Godfather all aboard, you had no chance in hell. So this literally was one of those that, again, could separate people. But again, it depends on who you are. If you know that you didn't have Godfather, you might as well just embrace, hey, I'm not going to max out this contest, but I can still do what I can. But then what made me upset about it was, what made me really upset is what they did afterwards. And this is where they lost me, okay? What baffled me about Farouk's contest is they've done this before, but it gets to a point where it's like I don't like when they do this. Launch a new champion. Make a contest all about them, right? Make a contest all about them. Make it seem like, okay, this guy's the be-all, end-all. You need to spend your money now. You need to get him now. And what did they do? Right after this contest concludes, they include him in the next MLC week's loot banner. So yeah, hit everybody up, highway robbery over the weekend. Make it seem like he's not going to be back for months. Because he's a very fun unit. Very solid unit, okay? And plus his ability with the purple and green MP, I dig it. Solid champion, versatile when it comes to builds. Whether you got lucky and pulled him from a bag, free to play, you got a bunch of free to play units. You got lucky with some IGC pulls. You could build him up. You could work with him. Or if you had a whale banner roster, you could easily dominate with him. But to make it seem like he was only going to be here for this weekend, and then, literally, the day that his contest concludes and everything resets for the limited tour-wise, you put him into the next week's MLC loot banner. That's when it's like, why'd y'all do people dirty like that? Why did you? Because you could have literally just been like, they could have easily done something where they said, hey, try to get him now. This is where the whole FGO thing comes up. This is when things get to me the same way like with Dokkan Battle, okay? If you have somebody that broken, like Hulk Hogan, Immortal or Hollywood, okay? Or your Hall of Fame units. This is when the saying, less is more, comes into play. If Farouk was really that valuable of a unit, if he was supposed to be portrayed as that much of a monster of a unit, then he shouldn't have been put right onto another banner following suit. And if he was going to be, you should have just said on this blog site portion of Champions, you should have easily just said, hey, listen, if you do not get Farouk in the milestones or get him in this banner for the weekend contest, don't worry, we're going to also bring him back before the conclusion of this MLC so you can try to get him again with a rate up. FGO does this. They do guaranteed SSR banners. Choose a class. Choose an archer, a saber, a lancer, a rider, a caster, an assassin. Choose the extra class. Guaranteed 5-star unit on here. Or you got a limited time banner running, okay? Okay, Caster Merlin is up. Solo rate up. This is the best chance for you to pull for him. They could have done that here. The same way they present their Hall of Fame units. They could have easily done that. They could have done a whole striker banner of Attitude Era. It could have been Farouk, Sting, Hall, Nash, okay? They could have done a banner like that. And Farouk would have had a higher drop rate. Or his shards would have had a higher drop rate. Or Dokkan Battle with their anniversary banners. It's like, hey, do a set amount of pulls, okay, on your next round of pulls. The final card is going to be a guaranteed amount of, plus 100 shards for Farouk. Do rotations. They didn't do that here. And that left a sour taste in my mouth, especially knowing like so many people went in for his contest to not only try to pull him, but to try to get Godfather. And y'all saw everything that was on that banner. And you know what the majority that you pulled. The garbo. The stuff that you didn't need. The stuff that you didn't want. That's what you got. And then to have him show up right afterwards on the next week's MLC banner, that's just Coldplay in my mind. So this was this was a powerhouse Savage situation and also a Tech Undertaker situation from Masters of the WWE Universe. I saw what y'all were doing here, but the way y'all executed it, you could have done it a tad bit differently, and you would have had people more understanding. But this was just a blatant cash grab, go, and then, because the broskies dropped that content, we know they'll be back. We know they'll be back. And people pull for them. So it's kind of like, I'm mad at how they set it up, but then again, people are going to do what they want with their money. So it's kind of also one of those things like, I can't really go all in on Scopely and Champions like that anymore because so many people have made it crystal clear that they don't really care. They're going to do what they want to do. And I have to sit back and be that guy that understands, like, Some people bring valid points, but inevitably, your pockets are your pockets, and you're going to do what you want to do regardless. Okay? So, but this was the one that left a sour taste in my mouth. Following that, we had the Ravishing Rebels. Now, Ravishing Rebels was an interesting one. You had some resources here, but it wasn't all that great. You can tell right here, looking at the rewards, it's like, what is that? What's the point of this? Then you had the like certain requirements. Again, it was interesting. You had the open, you use any tag team, and then you also had the legends any, but then you had team bad, meaning that you needed Sasha Banks here. Okay, you needed Sasha Banks, or if you were mad lucky enough to get Lana or something, then you could do this properly. It also gave people an opportunity to walk away with a legendary strap. You also had, again, another opportunity at 5-star tokens that should have been honestly been introduced in a new form now, because no lie, no one's going to get a hit now unless we properly get a just due on the prize wall again, because I forgot to mention earlier, they decided to take out the key pulls that we were able to use for straps and metal pulls as well as superstar pulls. Now it became a thing of, hey, we got these shirts. You have to make a decision. Are you going to save up all your shirts and use them on the prize wall at the very, very end and hope and pray that you have enough before the prize wall disappears ahead of schedule? Or, hey, are you going to do some superstar pulls and hope and pray that you get a solid fuse and walk away with something? A 4-star bronze Jinder Mahal. Okay, we get it. Trap Gem Generation Trainer. He's essential. He needs to be, especially if you're using certain champions like Phenom Taker. Okay, there's a lot of solid and fun Trap Gem units to use. Even a free-to-play unit like Trickster Daniel Bryant, Planet's Champ, could utilize someone like Jinder Mahal to help boost their gameplay overall. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, this was one of those situations where they played catch up, but also something that made things clear to me when it came to Lana. They already knew that Lana was a poor choice in a champion, to the point that literally every single week they had offers running within the store that basically you paid to unlock Lana. It wasn't even like a chase thing anymore. Pretty much, you did all your content. You did all your contest milestones. You got your shards of Lana that way. But then they had all these crystal clear, like spend your money here to get more shards of Lana so you can unlock her. And then it became like, okay, so you basically want me to spend like $300, $400, $5. It would be nice, right, in Champions. $300, $400, $500 per week to unlock a champion that isn't even that good, doesn't have a broken or busted OP tag link with anyone, isn't, that enticing when it comes to their ability that can be used on the roster. That's what we're doing now. That became crystal clear with this contest. The other ones, it was under the radar. Like, I would come across one like, hey, if you buy this pack, you're going to get this, and get some Lana shards. This was the contest that really opened my eyes up like, wow. They knew that they messed up on Lana. So now they're literally trying to get your money. When you go to do the pulls for this thing here, you're getting shards of her from there. And then it becomes a thing of like, well, she's not really a chase champion anymore if I'm basically paying to unlock her. You know what I mean? Like, some people might not think about it like that, but I'm just saying, like, it stops becoming a chase champion when you're literally paying for shards of her. That's just me. Like, a chase champion is someone that you don't need to spend money on. That's the point of the chase. You're doing everything else to get them. When now I literally, in the middle of the month, I can pretty much go and pay for them to get shards to unlock them. That's when the line becomes blurred. Because then it becomes a thing of like, well, okay, so I'm guessing from the faction contest, I'm guessing from my solo efforts and my tour grinds and what have you, get the shards here, and then I spend, maybe $1,000 or $2 on the other side to pick up these offers that give me the rest of the shards of her so I can do that victory tour at the end. No thank you from me. No thank you from me. But again, a lot of people are collectors in this game. So they're going to do what they got to do. They're on their Pokemon tip. Got to catch them all, champions. They're going to do what they got to do. So it is what it is. I can't tell people what to do with their money, but I can also sit there and be like this. It's a trap. Doesn't mean that they still ain't going to go for it, right? Now, following this, we had our last contest, and that's the Texas Pinn'em. Now, with this contest, we finally got to see Limitless Keith Lee, modern era powerhouse, enter the game. A very fun unit. Man, his finisher does so much damage. Oh my God, he's a monster. He is a monster in his own right. There's no way around that. He is a beast in his own right. And oh man, like I can't say nothing bad about Keith. And you know what? I gotta speak on this now because me being African American, I gotta claim this because I gotta say this right now. And y'all can say what you want in the comments because it's not gonna hurt me. Words are words, you know. They're only offensive if I find it offensive. But at the end of the day, there's a screen between you and I. Okay, you're not hurting me. You're not hurting my feelings, but I am going to state this. To those who got pissed and said that that Champions was basically trying to make money off of the Black Lives Matters movement, you're wrong. Because the Black Lives Matter gear was absolutely fucking free. You can't make money off of something that's free. Now Keith Lee, he could have been free if you got a bag and pulled him at 2-star. But outside of that, that was your choice. Again, it falls down to a thing of this is a game where they know people are going to do pulls. People like to pull on this game. Regardless of the crap rates, regardless of how many shards you get, regardless of knowing that there's a chance that you could spend thousands of dollars and walk away with nothing, people have an addiction. Gotcha is gambling. And if you wanted Keith Lee, you were going to do some rolls or some pulls for him. But getting free Black Lives Matter gear is not monetizing off of a movement during a serious issue in real life. Free gear is free gear. You choosing to spend to get the character that the gear goes to, that's on your head. So it's one of those things. I understand where some people were trying to make their stance on it and be like, I support the movement and this isn't right. But take a step back and fathom what you were trying to say here. Champions is trying to make money off of a movement. When that said movement gear that is represented in game is absolutely free. Everybody could claim that gear for free. And the character himself, if you got lucky, you could have pulled him at 2-star, would have been free and not cost you a single thing. If somebody pulled a free 4-star bronze technician Kofi Kingston, I think someone out there did pull a absolutely free 2-star bronze Keith Lee and got the gear to go with it. Now, when it came to this one, no lie, okay, the waifu requirements, oh boy, they even had to change them up a little bit. They had to switch things around on us. But like especially with the Bellas, they changed it from Nikki and Brie to any Bella. That was cool. That was dope. They did try to make it a little fair because there were a lot of champions there, but ultimately this was a pay-to-win scenario too because basically you had to make up the margin, the gap, to max out the milestones by spending money. There was no way around that. Even if you had the women that like all the characters, you still had to spend a set amount of money. I believe. I think maybe like 300 or so. So even if you miss, and if you were missing characters, basically you had to spend like X amount of dollars to make up the gap between all that. So regardless of what you did here, if you wanted to go all in to get everything, you had to spend money. So again, another scenario that, people had a right to be mad, but at the same time, it was like Ciampa. Ciampa, Showboat Warrior. You had a solid opportunity to walk away with Keith Lee absolutely free, but RNG was going to be RNG, and ultimately it depended on your roster and who you had. Like for me, I had Zombie Paige, so it was easy to team her up with all the females, all the waifus on my squad, and get through the content. It was easy to put them together with my Ronda and get the show link and to be able to do extra damage, whether it be from a Raw link or a Modern Era link. So, depending on how your roster looked, depending on who you use, perks, medals, and straps, of course, also being involved. It might have been easy for some. It might have been difficult for others. But inevitably, the opportunity was there. So it's something like you can't really be mad at it either. One thing that you should notice by now is that when I'm discussing this contest, is that I'm basically in the middle. But ultimately, real talk, this contest was a flaming piece of trash. It was a flaming piece of hot garbo. This could have been done a lot better. I didn't agree with the combo of Dane and Lana right out of the gate. That was one strike there. Then with how they handled APA Farouk. Farouk literally having a contest for the weekend where, hey, spend your money on this banner, try to get Farouk as well as Godfather so you can get this contest maxed out. Didn't sit right with me. The Junkyard Dog Contest was solid, but it was also another one where you did need certain superstars and certain requirements to be hit. The D9 pretty much gets a pass from me just because it's like, look, like you can't control what someone else does with their income. A lot of people, like, I get so tired of everyone attacking the whales, and it's not saying that this justifies some whales being ignorant assholes. It doesn't justify it. But it's just like, leave him or her be. If they chose to spend so much money on this game that, they're facing foreclosure on their home, facing their car being taken away, or they're blessed, they can spend as much as they want and it doesn't hurt them at all. That's them. That's not you. Don't take offense to their spending like they're going in your pocket and spending your money. And also, don't make your personal business the world's business. Especially in the era of social media, a lot of people be making some statements. It's like, you shouldn't have said that in this group. You know who's lurking in these pages. You could be having the most heartfelt speech, message bubble in the entire community, and you'll have so many people just laughing at you. Laugh emoji, laugh out loud emoji, laugh out loud emoji. People just bashing you till wit's end just to be trolls. You gotta just learn that you are in control of you. If someone gets lucky, we saw the crazy luck that OG Gerson had. He went to do a pull. He had Hogan on his account already because he was doing gameplay, and he got blessed and actually pulled Hollywood Hogan. So when the gameplay content was taken away, when they took Hogan away, he had to make sure that he let them know, this video, this screenshot proves that I got all the shards I need to have my Hogan. When you take your Hogan away, I still keep my Hogan. Some people get lucky. Some people get crazy lucky, like my boy G-Mo the Bro. His brother liked a certain superstar, and he did a role for his in memory of his brother. Boom, pulled him, easy. Didn't drop mad boatloads of money, but he got the character. And you've seen it with me. I don't know how many times we gotta do this. We've done the videos. You see me do like $20 in a dream. And I pull a 4-star bronze Vince McMahon. I pull a 3-star Volkov. The RNG can be RNG. So it's kind of like people need to stop attacking people because they chose to roll the dice and they didn't get scoped. There's literally people out there who watch videos of people doing pulls just to see them get salt. Just to see them get scoped. It's relatable. I get it. But ultimately, someone's pockets is someone's pockets. Mind your own. Stay out of theirs. Because again, if you didn't have the whales and the dolphins spinning on the game, we wouldn't even have a game to be arguing or critiquing. But inevitably, at the end of the day, the Super Showdown for Junkyard Dog was solid. A solid opportunity for sure. Tax deadline had some hit and miss requirements, but it was still a decent contest to say the least. Farouk pretty much right for the money, but we should have saw it coming. If they were going to give us something real lenient like the Super Showdown for a showboat, we should have known something crazy was going to happen when we got the Nth team freaking striker in the game. This is getting old too. I'm going to mention this now. For those of y'all who don't know, for the upcoming MLC, Carmella is going to be the Princess of Staten Island, is going to be a trickster. We had Stephanie and now we're getting Carmella. And now we're going to have a ruthless aggression striker in Shawn Michaels, the showstopper, as a Chase champion. I am at a loss with whose infatuation over there is about strikers, but it's getting old quick. Strikers are glass cannons, low health, high damage. But it's starting to get really annoying when you got, 6 classes in total. And it's just, you're going to the striker well too much, the same way you're going to the Attitude Era well too much. There are other eras, other generations, other categories and subcategories that could be shown love. But, at least, hey, Carmella's Modern Era, HBK Showstopper is Ruthless Aggression. So Ruthless Aggression is getting another solid unit outside of next big thing, Lesnar. I can't be mad at that. That's going to be cool. It's going to be different. But again, a weird tandem. The only thing I can get out of that is, Shawn did his little, jig when he would come out and take his gear off, and Carmella doing the moonwalk. I guess she's still on the show with the showstopper for the biggest show of the summertime, SummerSlam, I guess. But outside of that, y'all, July Jubilee could have been a lot more. I feel like they could have introduced this, and I'm about to be out of your hair because we're running it over too much, okay? We're about to reach an hour. Pretty much here, look, they could have easily had the D9 contest the way it's set up. But they should have brought back the prize wall that we all know and love with ingots, okay? Could have used the ingots. On this one, introduce, hey, look, there's going to be different tiers. Tiers of rewards like we normally do. But we have a brand new tier, and in here, you're going to get a shot at your 5-star gold tokens. Maybe start us off slow. 1 per month. Save up your ingots. You're guaranteed 1 5-star gold token of any class. They could have also done this, and I mentioned this beforehand. You could have brought back all the other resources, okay? You could have had a prize wall for your ingots. You could have had a prize wall for your class-specific orbs, where again, you could use the class-specific orbs that you got from a banner. You could have done Farouk's banner, had those striker orbs on it, and you could have chose a carton of milk. You could have introduced somebody else. You could have introduced Keith Lee, powerhouse orbs. You could have chosen the $1 million champ freaking orbs. You could use that to get powerhouse orbs to go ahead and get the $1 million championship. Forgive me on that. Junkyard Dog was out. You could have done pulls. If you didn't get his gear, you got the Showboat orbs. So if you couldn't do the LT tours, but you got the 4-star gold fuse milestone with that one Showboat theme mask, you could have gone and used the orbs that you collected from that banner to go ahead and get another theme mask that away. They could have done things a lot differently with this MLC. There was also a lack of like brand new characters because again, Keith Lee and Farouk, I believe, were the only ones. You had the Ravishing Rebels, so you could have done a Trickster banner. You could have done Class Orbs. So we could have had a prize wall for ingots, prize wall for Class Orbs. You could have also had your keys. You could have had your keys used for Superstar pulls as well as strap metal pulls and brought back the shirts for a final set of prize wall rewards where guess what? You get enough at the end from the faction contest. You can use it on the prize wall and get your third 5-star gold token. You could have easily done it like that. 4 resources. Everything properly set up. Ingot only prize wall. Orb prize wall. Shirt prize wall. Keys to use for straps and medals and superstars. Everybody would have been fine. Because think about it like this too. You could have gotten your ingots on your own. So that's one way that you got your situation. If you were pay to play, you got your class orbs, or you had these class specific milestone reward orbs that you got from the different types of contests we had. So that'd been another option. And then on top of that, you have your faction contest. So then you got your other resource. You got your shirts from there, and you could have used it there. So you could have gotten one 5-star gold token, boom, by yourself. Could have gotten another one, boom, by yourself. And then teamwork makes the dream work, right? Boom, we all get shirts. We can all walk away with a 5-star gold token. And oh, we got our keys. We can choose to either get straps or medals or do superstar pulls and maybe get crazy lucky and walk away with a 4-star fuse or a 4-star champion. They could have easily done that. Champions chose not to. Instead, they made it crystal clear who they cater to. They cater to those with the money, those willing to spend. And it turned quick because the showdown for Junkyard Dog, it was solid. It was great. They were off to the races with that. It was good. But then when Farouk hit, it was like, oh, here we go. That transition is the real thing that got me. To go from the contest, because it isn't the first time. They hyped up Drew McIntyre the same way. Had him seem like, oh, he's this godly unit. And then next thing you know, here he is, right on the banner right after his contest. That is not how you flip. That just gets me. It just bothers the crap out of me. And I'm thankful that they didn't do that with Keith Lee because we're about to run out and the new MLC is about to start. But don't be surprised if this MLC comes out and it's looking like it's going to be about the waifus and we see Keith Lee on the banner. Wouldn't put it past them. Would not put it past them. But look, y'all, not going to hold y'all any further, but those are my thoughts. Ultimately, this MLC was a huge letdown. They could have easily done this better. Yes, take care of those who spent their money. Take care of those who were blessed by the RNG, who deserve a right to get a 5-star bronze champion, the same way that you did when it came to 4 stars. But inevitably, do not forget about everyone else. You could have easily had it sorted out where everybody was winning this MLC, and nobody would have had room to complain. Nobody would have, because everyone would have had a shot one way or the other. And yes, some people would be like, well, that just means, well, if you did all the different prize walls, that the whales would, yes, the whales would have more shots at getting more 5 stars. But the meta is here. They're going to get 5 stars anyway, and so will you. It's not the end of the world. Patience is a virtue. This is a grind-heavy game. You're going to have to grind it out. You're going to have to put boot to ass or choose to spend mad money. But it's ultimately up to you, the player, the individual behind the screen. And that's it. That's truly it. There's nothing else to really say about it. This was a missed opportunity. Update 44 wasn't all that. It really wasn't. There's still plenty of issues and glitches up to this point in time that you're watching this video that have yet to be resolved, and issues that we're dealing with. Like, we literally just had a coin evolve contest that literally was glitched out the wazoo. We got SummerSlam approaching, Carmella and HBK, another unique tandem. So, looking forward to seeing how that gameplay goes. No lie, Carmella always been thick as hell, so I'm cool with that. Anytime a waifu comes out, to improve your waifu, always invest in waifu. But Lana was a huge letdown, definitely a huge letdown. And yeah, Killian Dane and Nikki Cross would have been dope. Lana and Bobby Lashley would have been cool, but that wasn't the case. And the content overall, pretty boring. Pretty boring month. Could have been a lot better. Could have been far more exciting. But it is what it is. But know this. Bad times don't last. But champions do. And thank you to all of you who did stay until the end. I know I probably went around in circles a few times. I'm sorry. I'm a passionate guy. I get into it. But inevitably, champions shot themselves in the foot with this one. No lie. Because I'm able to say this, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people end up quitting the game. Like myself, I do content on this game for better or worse. So I'm going to continue pushing forward. I'm going to continue to do what I feel is necessary to help all of you out. Whether you enjoy my content or not, I'm not going anywhere. This is a part of my life. I've met so many incredible people through this game, and I've gone too deep into this game to just up and quit just because, oh, look, so-and-so has a 5-star and I don't. Just because I don't have a 5-star now doesn't mean that I won't have one. That's how you gotta look at it. The same way when it was when everyone had 3-star golds and some only a few had 4-star bronzes. The transition, the change is going to come. You just gotta put in the work. And like I said in the prior video, if you're really that serious, if it's bothering you that much that you need to have a 5-star, you know what you're going to have to commit to. You know what kind of faction you're going to have to join or build up to get into so you can get those rewards, and you're going to have to carry your weight, point blank, period. But it can be done. Just know what you're going to have to sacrifice. Teamwork makes the dream work, and you know what? There's no such thing as a free ride, because a free ride is only going to get you so far, and inevitably, know that just like they used to say, the world is a stage and everyone's simply playing their part. So best believe, even if you think no one's watching you, they actually are. So, be on the lookout for Champions Big Brother for sure. But nonetheless, I'm glad this MLC's over. Get a little moment to take a break, because I can always do the kickoff tuck contest, on the final day when glitches and bugs are out of the way. I wish y'all all nothing but the best. Let me know your thoughts about this MLC. What were your thoughts about Dane? What were your thoughts about Lana? Let me know if you got Lana. Let me know if you got Farouk or Keith Lee. Definitely wasn't the best ever. But if you want to argue what you feel was the worst MLC ever down below, drop that in the comments. If you want to talk about what you feel was the best MLC down below, drop that comment and we can talk about it for sure. Because there are definitely MLCs that I feel kind of are on the same level of this, when Champions was trying to find its footing. But I also kind of find it ironic too, before I get out of here. It's kind of sad that it seemed that Champions knew where it was hitting a lot more when MLC's first launch compared to where we are now. Things have gotten a little more convoluted, and they're messing up the things that were right, and meanwhile, all the issues and problems that need to be properly fixed continue to stockpile. And I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Do the people who work at Champions really care? There's a lot of people who work on Champions who are in factions. You might not know who they are, but they do play the game. They are aware of the issues. So it's kind of like, are they just that fine with just taking your money that they're not going to stand up for you? Or do they have the concerns and share the concerns that we have, and they just don't have a voice? They haven't gotten their balls up to say, hey, I think we should do this and we should try this. It's something to really think about. It really is something to think about, because you got to think, like, here's something to leave out on. So many of y'all were happy about those contest bonus characters. But what y'all don't know is how hard of a fight it was just to get that into the game. Let alone, who knows which people who work for Scopely have been trying to bring up solid ideas for years now that could help everybody out while still bringing them a profit. And for some reason or another, they still won't do it. People fight for the community all the time. Gotta stand up for yourselves once in a while. But you also gotta make sure that you get the people's right attention and know that you're talking to the right people. And you gotta just deliver a message that's properly crystal clear and let people know when enough is enough. But mad love to each and every single one of you, of my beloved #champions fam. Stay tuned. Until next time, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But mad love always. Peace.